In the spring of 1923, French topographer Henri Casson was sent into the Libyan desert for what his superiors described as a routine boundary survey expedition. He led a team of 8 men. Under orders, he was expected to return to Tripoli in 5 weeks. He returned in 3. 2 members of his team never returned at all. A third refused to speak about what had happened out there in the desert. Casson himself filed a report, precise, detailed, and completely contradicting everything the colonial administration believed about the region. His superiors did the only thing institutions are capable of when confronted with evidence they cannot digest. They made him disappear. Casson was dismissed from his post 6 months later. The official reason was insubordination. The real reason is documented in a private letter from his department head, which surfaced at an auction in Marseille in 1997. Casson had found something in the desert that his superiors did not want discovered.
Something that raised questions no one in the 1923 colonial administration was prepared to answer publicly. This is the story of what he documented, of why no official explanation for his find was ever given, and of why a forgotten expedition on the edge of the Sahara might be one of the most significant suppressed evidences of a civilization that official history refuses to acknowledge. Before we continue, subscribe and turn on notifications. The stories that matter are the stories that were intentionally buried. We unearth them every week. According to the consensus of the time, there was nothing in the Libyan desert. The inland plateau south of the Nafusa escarpment consisted of limestone plains, ancient lake beds, and rare Roman trade routes. Nothing that would cause an experienced topographer to cut his expedition short by 2 weeks and return looking the way Casson reportedly did. A colleague who met him at the office in Tripoli noted in his diary that Casson looked as though he had aged 10 years in 5 weeks. His hands were shaking. The first thing he asked, even before asking for water or meal, was whether anyone else had ever been to that region before him, within living memory. The answer was negative. This shattered him. The report spanned 87 pages. Measurements, compass bearings, scaled drawings, and photographic plates taken by his Algerian assistant, Youssef Hamdan, one of the 2 men who never returned. The report was submitted to the Colonial Geographic Bureau in Tripoli on June 3, 1923. It was logged, assigned a reference number, and quietly removed from the archives before the end of that same year. The reference number in the Bureau's index remains. The report does not.
We know of its contents from 3 sources: the private letter from Casson's supervisor, a summary by a clerk named Antoine Ferret, who kept notes on unusual acquisitions that season, and a single page from the report that emerged in a private collection in Lyon in 1988, authenticated as matching early 1920s French colonial administration paper. According to Ferret's notes, the report described structures on a plateau 340 kilometers south of the escarpment. Casson used this word deliberately and repeatedly, specifically rejecting alternative explanations. Not rock formations, not Roman ruins, not Berber settlements. Structures, arranged in a precise geometric grid, oriented no more than half a degree off true north. The distance between them was constant within the margin of instrumental error. Casson measured this several times from different positions because he didn't believe his first measurement. He believed all the subsequent ones. The surviving page shows a blueprint. 31 structures in a pattern that triggers an unsettling sense of recognition. It looks like a city block, not Roman nor medieval Arabic. It is the type of block that became the standard of European urban planning in the mid-19th century. Uniform plots, identical facades, a central avenue intersected by perpendicular streets. In the middle of the Libyan desert. Casson estimated that the structures had existed long before any known settlement of the plateau, by at least several centuries. His field intuition suggested it was significantly longer. This is where a deeper pattern emerges. In the 16th to 18th centuries, European cartographers placed Tartaria on their maps. According to the first edition of the Encyclopaedia Britannica in 1771, it was the world's largest empire, spanning Russia, Central Asia, Mongolia, and parts of the Middle East and North Africa. By the fourth edition, Tartaria was gone. It simply vanished without explanation. Researchers working outside of mainstream archaeology document a persistent phenomenon. Structures following the logic of 19th century European grid layouts in regions where, according to official chronology, no civilization capable of building them ever existed. Casson's plateau fits this pattern perfectly. The supervisor's letter does not discuss the structures directly. It discusses the problem they created. The report contained observations incompatible with the established territorial registry. The exact phrasing, it says everything. The decision to suppress the report was calculated. Casson submitted 3 requests for permission to return in 1924, 1926, and 1929. All 3 were denied. In letters found near Bordeaux in 2003, he wrote about the material of the structures. Not sandstone, not limestone, not mud brick. A pale, dense composite unlike anything he had encountered in 10 years of work across 3 continents.
On the leeward sides, it preserved surface details with a precision Casson called impossible. The floors were leveled with instrumental accuracy. The walls met at perfect right angles. No traces of hearths, no evidence of life. And then there was the symbol. On the lintel of the largest structure, at a height of 4 meters, a circle bisected by a horizontal line, with a smaller circle resting just above the point of intersection. Casson showed sketches to 3 colleagues with combined experience spanning North Africa, the Levant, and Anatolia. None recognized it. In 2019, researcher Isabelle Marchand published an article. This exact symbol had been documented in 3 other places. On a carved stone from a Roman monument in Tunisia, 1887. On a ceramic fragment from Algerian road construction, 1934. On a cave wall in the Tibesti Mountains from a German expedition in 1912. The German records were destroyed in World War II. The Tunisian stone has been listed as missing since 1956. The Algerian fragment never made it into any museum. 3 appearances, 3,000 kilometers apart. Every single document destroyed, seized, or unavailable. This is no coincidence. Officially, Hamdan was listed as having died of heat stroke. His family told a different story. In May 1923, he returned to his village near Gadames, handed a set of glass negatives to his brother, and told him not to open them until he returned in person. He never did. In 1934, a man claiming to be a government representative arrived, confiscated the plates without leaving a receipt, and vanished. Those were the photographs of the 31 structures. They have not been seen since 1934. Henri Casson died in 1951 in Montpellier. After 1929, he never worked as a topographer again. His name does not appear in any standard history of French colonial cartography. Satellite imagery of the region, corresponding to his coordinates, shows surface anomalies spaced at regular intervals. They have never been excavated. The official stance? There is nothing of interest out there to dig up. The structures either exist or they do not. If they do not, then the report, the letters, the symbol, the confiscated negatives, and the destruction of Casson's career were all orchestrated for absolutely nothing. If they do exist, 31 structures beneath the sand, oriented within half a degree of true north, made of a material an experienced topographer could not identify, and marked with a symbol that has been quietly scrubbed from public registries for over 100 years. The report is gone. The photographs are gone. The man who created them is gone. The structures are not. Share this with one person. Not for the algorithm. Ask the question. See you in the next investigation. We are already on our way.